Folks, Danny here at PARTAY. So got a couple of things I wanted to cover with you, but first I want to get your opinion on something. Can anyone out there tell me what this is? You see, because when I was first looking at it, I just assumed that Ken was doing another one of those white, solid background things. And because they always come up sort of a greenish gray as opposed to true white. So when I was looking at it, but I noticed that there were some little dark flecks in there, and I kept thinking, it's something on my camera. So I was trying to, or on my phone, so I was trying to wipe my phone off where those were, and then I noticed that they started moving. And it then occurred to me, I'm looking at this and I'm really kind of stupefied, like, what's going on? And then I realized what it was. And it was a wolf in the background. Talk about full screen clipping. Full screen. For those who aren't aware, clipping is generally caused whenever folks either crank their contrast like all the way up, right? Or you're rigging the settings on your camera, or either the screen's hot spotting. The whole screen pretty much is just a big hot spot. And I think all three are occurring here. I know two of them are occurring, but whether the third one is or not, I'll leave that to you guys. Also, I wanted to show you this. So I didn't watch the video. I just kind of jumped in and took a couple of snapshots. Somebody had reached out and said, hey, check this out. I don't have time to sit and watch all that and listen to him carry on and carry on and carry on, him being Ken on Crystal Edge Technology Screens channel. Just carry on with all the insults and the juvenile stupidity that he comes out with out there. So I'm not going to watch all that crap. But here's the thing. You're listening to a man right now who hates. I truly, there's not very much in this world I hate. I do not like at all white screens. Okay, white projection screens. But I would take the white screen or the wall or the sheet or whatever that is, I would take that over that dark mud paint every day of the week. Every day. Ask me 15 times, you're going to get the same answer 15 times. Give me the white. Give me the white. Give me the white. Over and over and over again. So, I also want to say thank you to the individuals who had commented on the outside display. Thank you so much. Received a couple of comments, received about 3 emails from people. So I just want to say thank you. Appreciate the feedback. Had a little difficulty at that time, so I've got to get my router out here established so that I can get some Wi-Fi coverage, because right now I'm having to keep the projector within about a foot of the doorway. Or else my Chromecast just loses connectivity altogether. As a matter of fact, in that video, the reason that it's spliced together is because there were a few times where it just locked up and I lost connectivity and had to go back, reestablish, that kind of stuff. But I would tell you that the beginning of that video, when it starts, the beginning of that video, it was about 6:30, I think it was 6:37. The sun set here at 7:35, so roughly, not quite, but roughly about an hour before the sun actually goes down. So I'm going to try to see if we can push that limitation. I'm just curious. These are just tests. I'm just curious to see how well it'll hold up before the sun actually goes down, how long, right? So we can try to get it in for a couple hours. Now, the reason I say that is because if many of you remember, I did a video whenever we were at the lake last year in Tennessee, where I did a video at roughly about 12:45 or so in the afternoon, sun directly above, no clouds, and had it hitting the screen. And I was still able to pick up an image, although not a great one. I was still able to pick up the image on the Sirius A screen. So I'm really curious to see. I haven't tested it all out myself just because of the Wi-Fi issue. But I'm really curious to see how far back we can push it from sunset before these screens really start to degrade. So I'll let you know. And granted, that was on a small panel again, but that was also a very large. I was casting. If you were to have spread out the panel or could stretch out the panel, it would have covered probably about a 90 to 100 inch screen. So that's what I'm always going to try to do. I know that because of the distance from the screen to the projector and the way that I have it set up in my living room for that same distance. So it's roughly going to be somewhere between 90 to 100 inch screen that I was casting on that screen, capturing just a small part of it. I also want to bring to your attention SilentWake5 gamer. I forget the last part. Silent. I think it's Gamer Guy. But he had posted a few videos, doing a shootout between Ken's Black Silver and Vega. So I have a link in the description of this video that you can click on, where he's kind of having a conversation about that wolf video, and he goes into some things there. But I would ask you to look through the other videos. He's only got like a handful out there, but look through the other videos, the shootout videos, so that you can see how Vega stands up against the Black Silver that Ken had offered out there. The only thing that I would bring to folks' attention, and this is something that I discussed with Silent Wake, so just to be transparent, I told him I was going to make this notation, is that when you look at Vega, and it's going to be different between Vega and the Black Silver from Ken, because Ken's Black Silver is a Lambertian screen. So what you see is what you get. So when you get to the side angle, actually his extreme side angle, and you guys have heard me say this about the Supreme 8 screen that I have. When you get to his extreme side angle, and when I say extreme, I mean like in the last 3 degrees. His seems to be brighter in that area than anywhere else. I believe that that's because of the ultra dry Lambertian effect on the screen. That because it's not really brighter, it's lighter. And Silent Wake, feel free to discredit that or kind of opine on your own opinion. But to me, it's not that it really gets brighter. It's just that it's a lighter looking screen, and I think it's just because of the sort of the ashy effect on the surface. But as soon as you take a step inward, let's say this is the panel and you're standing here, as soon as you take one step in, boom, it's dark. And he shows you just how dark that even the Black Silver, okay, not even the black screens, this Phantom mess and the Phoenix mess, he's showing you just how dark even his Black Silver screen is. So the only thing I would say is that with the Vega, bear in mind, Vega being a specular screen, that because it's a small panel, it looks darker from the side than it would be if you were looking at full scale. That's because the panel's only capturing a small segment of the projector light source, right? So you're not getting the full angle reflection that you would get if you had it in full screen. And I'll show you guys that as I show each one of these screens. I'm going to put a small panel of the same screen on the screen so that you can see what I'm talking about with the samples. And the reason I say that is because we're considering offering samples for purchase, low-cost samples, so that folks can kind of make a determination as to which would best suit them. But I just want to, I'm prefacing that because you're going to hear that in upcoming videos where I talk about the problem with samples. And that's not just my samples, that's samples with your manufactured screens as well, is that they're not going to hold up as well on the side angle as, say, a full screen would. Because you're looking at a full screen where you're getting full reflectivity from every angle of the projector source, where with a sample, once again, you're only getting that small little confined sample size, and you're only getting that much of the projector's light that's hitting it, and so you're not getting the full reflectivity. As a matter of fact, if you had that, say, in the center, the only reflectivity you're getting is kind of back here, right straight forward. And on your side angles, you're getting almost nothing, just because you don't have any of the projector light that's coming in at those angles hitting that little panel. So that's something to consider. But I just want to say, and I'm going to finish with this, because also, I mentioned I'm going to put the description to SilentWake5's videos And I highly recommend that everybody check them out because it's pretty good. And it's great to hear somebody that knows what they're talking about whenever they're discussing both the projectors as well as the screens. Okay, because he's using this against the SilentWake 5D. So what I would say is that check out as many of his videos as you have time to do. Please do, because it's good material. But outside of that, this is just another person who purchased from Ken Bird and was just disappointed, totally disappointed. Knows that you've been deceived by the claims that Ken Bird puts out there. It's just bad stuff. But here's what I'm going to offer to you, Ken. Okay? What I'm going to offer to you is you have put out so many smack-talking videos. Now, this is coming from a guy who said, I've got such big contracts, I'm moving on. How many times have you said you're moving on? And then in this latest one, I happened to catch that blurb where you say, you're going to continue this. You're going to continue this. Well, keep beating that dead horse and then come out a day later and say, well, I'm done. I'm through. But you're not. And you never will be. That's the problem with you, is that you've always bullied and harassed people out here on YouTube. And you never let up. But thankfully for folks like me, I could give a crap less. You don't scare me. You don't harass me. You'll never harass me. And if you do something where you cross into criminal, I'm just going to put your butt in a sling. So you need to keep that in mind, because ain't nobody scared of you. Everybody knows you're not selling. You've talked about even having to take out loans from PayPal. We all heard the word on the street from your friends was that you're broke and that you're trying to keep this thing afloat, and it ain't working. And there is no big contract coming. If it was coming, it would have already have happened. It's not coming. So you can throw that and take that to the bank. There's not going to be a big contract. All these things that you've claimed, all the machinery that you've had, or you were going to buy, and the showrooms, because you were talking about putting stuff in showrooms a couple of years ago, and it's still not happened. It's not happening now. It didn't happen then. Nothing that you predict you ever bring to fruition. So you can talk about backing stuff up. Your backing it up is as simple as this. It's just you talking smack in your house. There's nothing else. No credibility around anything documentation-wise, because you always spin that narrative in a very wrong way. Like your patents, like your crease and deceased order. All that stuff is skewed to a very wrong narrative. And I have to come out here and clean this mess up so that people understand what's really happening. Because if they listen to you and your lies, everybody would believe that you were already super famous, you beat every screen manufacturer in the world, and none of that has happened. All I'm seeing is a guy who's sitting around, his butt and his belly's getting bigger, sucking on combos while you're trying to talk to people in your demonstrations. I mean, how tacky is that? Talk about lack of professionalism. How tacky is that? But here's the thing. I'll give you one last chance. I offered you the opportunity. If you felt so confident, if your contract people, these idiots felt so, if they even exist, felt so comfortable with how great your product was, then you should have no problem whatsoever smacking down a hobbyist. Smack me down, Ken. Right? Because I know when you see those displays of these things outside, that scares the crap out of you, because I don't have to rig my camera to make them look good. They look good natural. Where you, on the other hand, is all about the rigging. So you have one chance here. You've claimed yourself as king, but I'm claiming myself as king at this point. I'm going to take that banter. And on top of it, I'm going to have, look here, this is what I'm going to have on every upload that I do from here on out for a while, showing that I'm king. And you see that little banner around my thing there? It says, the screens that Crystal Edge Technology ran from. That's my slogan. I've already checked it out with my attorneys, make sure that there's no issue with me getting in trouble in that, and I can do that all day long. Be a contender. All right? So I'm claiming I'm a contender. Now, you could very easily send your wonderful Phantom product out there and smack me down, but I'm telling you, I'm a contender. And if you run away from this challenge, we know what kind of bird you are. A chicken. Just a big old chicken who loves to sit in his house and do a bunch of smack talk trying to humanize himself when in fact you're nothing but a crook. But I want you to understand that this is your opportunity to grab that brass ring. Grab it. Grab it. Grab that brass ring. Show people you're king. Because if not, I'm the king. Hail to the king, baby. You guys take care.